Hello again. Welcome to another Wednesday night, another opportunity to ask this genius of cinema any questions you might have. I think I've just oversold you, Doug. I'm sorry.
I'll take it.
But before we can get to your questions, I see we have a lot of questions rolling in. Really appreciate that. Thank you, everyone. Before we get to the questions, I'm going to get to the rules so that we can all have a good and enjoyable time. First and foremost, here we give priority to the bit messages and super chats, since that is some real world money spent. Towards the end of stream, sometimes we have time for highlighted questions or regular chat questions over on YouTube and Twitch. But please save that for the end of stream, because if you start doing it now, I have no way to scroll back up and see it anyway. So just don't do that, because our next rule is that you don't spam or repeat yourself over and over again in the chat. It's an easy way to get yourself timed out or even banned if you're going to continuously do that. With the bit messages and the super chats, there isn't a need to repeat those. You won't get in trouble if you do that necessarily, but I just feel bad if you paid $5 twice. We do have a list of questions. It is very rare that we miss them, even when things were messed up last week. I think I got them all,
Yeah,
even
that's right.
after things were hopping around.
Yeah, a lot of things went weird
Yeah,
wrong.
last week a lot of things went weird. So just have some patience. Chances are we will get to it. Just have patience. We can get up to an hour or more behind. On the YouTube side of things, we prioritize super chats that are $5 and over, because we get a large volume of questions, and we do want to be able to give people a chance who don't have the money to do a paid question, and just prioritizing that number is a better way for us to be able to do that. If you give less than $5, we will of course say thank you, and at the end of stream we'll go back to those. But we do prioritize that. Please watch the length of your questions. The longer it is, the faster I have to read it, the more likely it is that we're going to completely lose the point, and we do not have time to go back and reread it. So short and to the point is better. Along those same lines, if you absolutely must break up your question or comment into multiple parts, please keep it to 3, absolute maximum. Again, we tend to lose the point about what you're saying in part 12 and how it relates to part 6, and we just don't have time to go back and figure out what you're trying to say. So 3 parts, absolute maximum. Also, please keep it to 1 question per bit message or super chat. Just doesn't feel fair if there's hundreds of people here who want to ask Doug a question and you get to ask 5. We have lots of people who would like to ask questions as well. So just keep it to 1 question per bit message or super chat, please. No spoilers, okay? Not everyone has had the chance to watch the latest and greatest. I'm still behind on Andor.
And I'm almost caught up. Almost caught up. Well, no, now they dropped 3 more today, didn't they? So, or last
yesterday,
night.
So,
yeah. So
I'm definitely
those
not.
to watch now.
And you know, despite Marvel already kind of spoiling,
I was
bits
gonna
and
say we
pieces
should
of
tell Marvel that.
Thunderbolts, like, let's not do Thunderbolt spoilers yet, okay? I know even Marvel is out here throwing some spoilers on their social media channel, but come on, guys, it's one weekend. Give people a chance to see movies. It's crazy. I hate it. You're bringing out the Italian hands in me. Yeah, I think that's it. No, both chats are saying no swearing, Doug. So
that's right.
No swearing to you. Fantastic. Oh, and on the YouTube side of things, I saw we had 2 people give super chats before the stream started. I know at least one person was like, I didn't see it. So I will read yours this time, but please, my software that I'm using to capture all the questions and put them in the queue doesn't start until we start the stream. So it just will not capture those if you give them ahead of time, and then your question is just lost to the void. So just know that for the future, please. All right, cool, great. Just some guy, thank you for the $10 super chat. Critic, I love your newest video, but as a bald 32-year-old mechanistic, us thumb people don't have much representation. I am honored to accept you amongst us balds.
Well, now I don't think that's true. I saw Thumb Wars. That was a classic. All right, not much else, but that counts. You had the one.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. How would you rank Sean Connery, Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan, and Daniel Craig as James Bonds?
Okay, Sean Connery's first. I used to say Pierce Brosnan, but it might actually be Timothy Dalton. He's really grown on me the more I learned about the Bond character. And then I say Pierce Brosnan, then Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig got really good. I was kind of sketchy on him at first, but I actually really grew to love him. And then Roger Moore.
Breeze, thank you for the $5 super chat. Please review the 1994 movie Tammy and the T-Rex, starring Paul Walker and Denise Richards.
Never even heard of it. Sure, it's not Theodore Rex. No, I'll check it out.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In Rick and Morty, what do you think of Evil Morty?
He's a pretty good threat, and I like when they take a character that's kind of like, I don't want to say innocent. It's hard to call him innocent, but very naive and optimistic and hopeful. I mean, just a lot of things we associate with being. I mean, he's not bright, but he's still a very good kid. And they just turn him into like this I mean, just the opposite. I mean, he's very intelligent, but he's very evil and diabolical and can trick people in the most devious of ways and really thinking several steps ahead. So yeah, I like when they do that. That contrast usually really works.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think of King of Queens?
I've only seen a little bit. What I saw I liked. I don't remember loving it or anything, but honestly, I confuse King of Queens and Mike and Molly all the time.
Oh, do you?
I no, it was King of Queens. Yeah, okay, because they're kind of similar. I'm like, no, it was King of Queens was one I saw a couple episodes of. Yeah, I remember liking it. Okay, I didn't love it or anything, but it's all right.
Magic Window, thank you for the $20 super chat. Appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
I think That's a Lot of Fish in the 1998 Godzilla was supposed to be like an anti-joke in that it was not something clever or quippy said in response as would be expected. Not that this makes it funny, however.
Yeah, could be Tommy Lee Jones and Fugitive saying, my, what a mess after the huge, train crash and everything. That's my guess. But I mean, they literally have the music building up to it, and just everything comes to a stop. And it just to focus in on that one line where it's like, yeah, if they made it more realistic moment, which nothing in that movie was very realistic, maybe it would have worked.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. Question for Heather. In the most recent season of Only Murders, what do you think of the episode where Charles tries to throw Oliver a bachelor party? I really love their conversation near the end, especially considering their long-term friendship in real life. Yeah, that was a really sweet one. I love that it was so Oliver in the beginning being like, oh, I need A-list celebrities and all this stuff. And, it just kind of became what it became. And it's sweet, We love two bros being bros. Treg, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you seen the latest photos for the new series of the BoJack Horseman crew? Long story short, it's premiere on August 22nd, same day BoJack premiered in 2014. I love the idea of doing a psychological comedy about a family whose experiences blend the past, present, and future together. Thoughts on the new images or the series concept?
I love the concept. I mean, it really sounds like a blending of BoJack and Undone, which is two shows a lot of the same people worked on. And both those shows are phenomenal. So yeah, it sounds like a good idea. I like the style. You can recognize it as the people who did BoJack, but it's not a direct copy. It's something kind of different. So yeah, I'm excited for it. Anytime anyone from that show does anything anywhere, I want to check it out because it's usually pretty interesting.
At Movies, thank you for the 500 bits. Top 3 Jack Warden performances.
Gotta look him up to remind myself who he is. Jack Warden. Oh, this guy. Was he in 12 Angry Men? Okay. Boy, I don't know if I've seen him in the major maybe 12 Angry Men is one of his major movies. Hey, let's see what he's best known for. I see the Prom Child movie. I remember seeing him at bit parts. Yeah, he was usually the dad. Yeah, sure. I guess Prom Child was kind of funny. I'll say he's funny in that. 12 Angry Men, he must have been good because of 12 Angry Men. And he's in Being There. I remember that movie being. Oh, he was the president in Being There. Actually, I do remember him being pretty good in that. I'll say that one.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Good evening, all. Doug, have you or Heather seen the movie Companion? It came out a few months ago and is actually really good.
Yeah, it's another one of those movies because it's the same guy who did Barbarian. Just the less you know about it going in, the better. Even if you know like the ones, like they're the first surprise is very very easy to figure out, and I think they're almost advertising is pretty easy to figure out. But everything after that had again a lot of good twists and turns and surprises, and yeah, I had a good time with it.
Treg, thank you for the 500 bits. Thoughts on the Birdcage original and remake? Personally, I think these films are like apples and oranges. The original probably has more emotional sincerity, while the remake has more personality, visual flair, and funny comedy.
Yeah, I still haven't seen the original. I have to because I do hear it's better. And I do like the remake quite a bit. Obviously, I saw that first because I haven't seen the original yet. But yeah, I do want to check out the original. But yeah, I like the remake quite a bit.
Kevin, thank you for the $5 super chat. First, I somewhat like the song Dream My Dream. Second, what do you mean when you said exasperated? Very different from now.
Oh, it like it's because it's not that different from now. And I agree that when I was reviewing that movie, that song was just in my head. It's a cruel, cruel world, all you little boys and girls. I mean, yeah, it is such an earworm, and it's not even that long.
Alex the Animator, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey Doug, do you remember in your NC review of Santa Claus, the movie, when you discussed the step uncles? I just want you to know that they're a real thing. How do I know this? Because I have a step aunt, but don't worry, she's nice, unlike John Lithgow's character in Santa Claus the movie.
Man, I forgot that joke. I mean, I guess step anything is possible. So sure, I might have just been looking for a joke.
Multi, thank you for the $5 super chat. Favorite James Bond movie and why?
Man, oh, that's rough. Again, it might be one of the Timothy Dalton one. I'm trying to think what the one where he gets revenge. So I guess it's kind of both of them. I think it's License to Kill. It's the first time I've seen James Bond done in that. I guess more like in the book where he is kind of a loose cannon and he is kind of vengeful and spiteful, but he has this charm to him as well. And I like the way he played it more than Craig did. But like I said, Craig got better as it went along. I think he became more charming and sympathetic. Uh, but yeah, that was because I really liked Goldeneye a lot before then. The other ones are great, but I really liked that one because I thought it was a good mix of kind of real and kind of silly. But I was like, oh, the Dalton ones actually were doing that before Goldeneye, and Dalton was supposed to be in Goldeneye, which definitely would have matched too. So yeah, I guess I'll say that one. I'm not saying it's technically the best; it's just kind of my personal favorite.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. I'm surprised you referenced Steve Odekirk's Kung Pao, yet said nothing when the Thumbs bots showed up since Odekirk made those Thumb parody films too.
I was thinking about it. I'm just like, I'm running out of time. I gotta just slash it.
Jamie, thank you for the $5 super chat. Will you review Five Nights at Freddy's this October since the second movie comes out this year? By the way, you can say FNAF for short.
Yeah, but it almost sounds like a swear word. It sounds like a combination of swear words almost.
What, FNAF?
FNAF. What the FNAF? It sounds like a Star Wars or Star Trek swear word, just like it's something like Klingon say FNAF. Probably not. I didn't even hate the movie. Like I almost kind of liked it, but it's just boring to me. There's really not much. Like put it this way: if I really knew like the lore and everything, and I knew the games, maybe I would. But I don't. I only played a little bit of the first one, which was fun. I enjoyed it. But yeah, if someone's gonna review those movies, in this day and age with the following it has, you need to be an expert on it, or at the very least, you need to have played all the games.
Trip, thank you for the $5 super chat. How do you know the Tarzan review was demonetized because of Clayton's death? Did YouTube say that was the reason?
No, we took a guess, and the fact that we re-uploaded and that hasn't been demonetized indicates that that was it. But who knows? It's still so random. There's like people I know that swear every other word in their videos, and I'm like, and you haven't been demonetized? No, not at all. It's like it doesn't seem to be the size of it either, because some are smaller channels, some are bigger channels, and they just don't get hit. So we don't know.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you seen Harvey Birdman? If you have, what do you think of Stephen Colbert as Harvey's boss?
Oh, he's very funny. Colbert's very funny in many ways, isn't he? Colbert Report is still my personal favorite, but his voiceover stuff is probably my second favorite stuff, even more than what's he on the Late Show, um, because he just has such a unique voice and such a cockiness in the way he talks, and he just usually plays these despicable, awful people, and just the way he does it with that very confident sounding voice, I just love. He has this great delivery.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you seen her? Oh, I just read that. Sorry. Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. Again, really hope you'll at least do the second one too, since I honestly think it's good, as good. What? Think it's almost as good, if not as good, as the first one is too.
I think they're talking about Spy Kids. I saw it a long time ago. I definitely remember it being a dip in quality. I can't remember if it was actually good or bad. I just kind of lump it in with the bad stuff because I remember the bad stuff more. But I'll probably watch it because I think I was gonna say it's the last one left, but there's technically two more after that. There's a fourth and a fifth one, I guess, which is very very weird. So yeah, I'm sure I'll do them all at some point.
Kevin, thank you for the $5 super chat. In your review, I think you could have used the brotherhood elements in the movie and made a joke about the relationship between you and Rob.
Uh, Maybe I yeah, I guess I could have, but I don't know. It was one of the, with the editorial reviews. That's what I call them, the ones that don't have a cast in them. I usually don't have as much time to work on them, so yeah, they're a little tighter and they're a little bit more rushed. So yeah, sorry about that.
At Movies, thank you for the 500 bits. Are there any 80s movies that you think should have gotten a cartoon spinoff? My pick is Monster Squad.
That would have been pretty cool. It might have been lame though, because they can't do what they could do in the movie. Boy, I don't know. Most of them had it. Yeah, even Highlander had one. Terminator. I don't know how they do it, but if RoboCop got one, why not Terminator?
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. What are your thoughts on Never Say Never Again, which featured Sean Connery's final appearance as 007?
I saw it when I was really young. I remember it not being good, but I also haven't seen it since I was like, I don't know, 8 or 9. But if I'm 8 or 9 and I'm still like, this isn't good, that's probably not great.
Kevin, thank you for the $5 super chat. In your review, you claim to be a 45-year-old man, but Google says you were born in 1981. What gives?
Did I say 45? I thought I said 43. Maybe I did. Maybe I was just in such a rush. I got my age wrong, which could be. Yeah, I'm 43.
Just rounding up, that's all.
Yeah.
Jimmy, thank you for the $5 super chat. What's your favorite arc in Star Wars The Clone Wars? I like Ahsoka's arc where she leaves the Jedi and any arc involving Darth Maul.
Yeah, the Ahsoka one's pretty great. Yeah, man, the Darth Maul one. Yeah, boy, those might be it. Trying to go through all the other ones in my head. I don't know. Ventress went through an arc, but she was just fun to watch. And the same thing with a lot of the stuff with Dooku was pretty interesting. Yeah, I guess I'll say Ahsoka and Maul. Those are pretty good. I agree with you.
Well, Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, outside of Master and Commander, what are your 3 favorite Russell Crowe performances?
Man, I gotta look them. I really do love him in Master and Commander. Let's see, Russell Crowe. It's like I know which ones aren't. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't put Gladiator on there. Oh my God, what's it called? American Gangster. He's really, really good in. So let's see. LA Confidential. I remember him being really good in. I don't remember getting as into Beautiful Mind as everyone else did. But like it's fine. I never got that into it. Let's mix it up a little bit. I don't like the movie, but I thought it was a good Jarrell in Man of Steel. I thought that was actually a good choice, especially after the planet blows up. The way he communicates, especially when he's helping Lois escape, just that whole scene I thought was kind of cool. So I'm not saying it's technically his best, but I dug it.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. What do you think of the Helliverse announcement from the Level Up Expo on Hell of a Boss coming to Prime Video? It feels like a paywall without the name.
I'll have to wait and see. My major concern, it's cool to see them, doing a crossover. And am I right? Like, at least one of the seasons is just all like, hell of a boss or whichever one. I don't know, maybe just this is its own season. I don't know. It's just doing one big crossover. My only concern is because it is with Amazon, it is with Prime. There is going to be that time crunch, which I get. You know, a lot of people are putting money into that. And I get it. And you got to meet the deadlines. But I thought it has been Hotel, even though the animation's still great by TV and streaming standards, it wasn't as good as Hell of a Boss's animation, where they could take more time and it just when it's done, it's done. And I am a little afraid to see that affect the animation a little bit. Like it's going to be streamlined a little bit, which is just part of the, part of the course. I get it. But man, that's what I thought makes one of the many things that makes Hell of a Boss so unique and different from everything else is the animation is so stellar. But we'll see. Maybe it'll be different. But yeah, we'll just have to see. But I mean, I'm still excited to see all those characters, and like what they're gonna do with them.
Gato Cat, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey, Doug, this is a bit late, but I just wanted to share a fun fact about Willow with you. A year after Willow came out, Jean Marsh, is it Jean Marsh or Jean Marsh? It's Jean, right?
I think it's Jean.
Okay, great. Starred in a Doctor Who serial called Battlefield, where she played pretty much the exact same villain as she played in Willow, even had a similar costume. Bonus fact, Jean Marsh also played a companion on The Doctor in the 60s.
Oh, neat. I guess she was a big Doctor Who fan, or became after that.
Brett, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thoughts on the Nick Cage movie, The Surfer? NC?
I haven't seen it yet. I heard for the most part it's good. But like that's kind of it, just good. So I don't know. I'll check it out at some point because it did look interesting.
Magic Window, thank you for the $5 super chat. Are you cooler than your brother?
I mean, the facts speak for themselves.
Chase, thank you for the $5 super chat. This is part 1 of 2. MacGruber should be the SNL film you review. Think about it. Most TV shows that get a movie/remake often have an SNL skit or joke about it. However...
I'll wait for part 2.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. This is part 2 of 2. MacGruber started as an SNL skit made into a film, then got a TV show last, completely backwards to the process. Definitely worth mentioning, I think.
I haven't seen any of them. I didn't even know this was an SNL sketch until the movie came out, and I'm like, man, I completely missed those sketches. And I guess I didn't even know it was a show either. So yeah, I'm discovering it as backwards as you are. I think I heard the movie was good. So yeah, at some point I should try to check it out. But again, I don't know the source material that well. So we'll have to see.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, these voices are all magnificent, but how would you rank them? Audra McDonald, Jennifer Hudson, Whitney Houston.
Hold on, it's McDonald from like Sound of Music and Beauty and the Beast. Audrey McDowell, is that her name?
Audra.
Let's see. Audra McDonald, is that it?
Yeah,
there she is.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, okay, this lady I'm thinking of. It's just nothing I'm gonna say that's gonna it's gonna piss off somebody. Personally, from what I've heard, I think Audra, I probably like most. I don't want to say this. It's a personal preference. I do like Hudson a little better than Whitney Houston, but I'm not saying she's better. I'm just saying I like the voice a little bit better. It's just kind of my personal taste, but I mean, like you said, they're all stellar. Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of any of their voices I've listened to and haven't just gotten like chills listening to them. So yeah, that's rough. But I'm sure most people will go the exact opposite direction I did, and that's totally fair. It's just whatever it kind of tickles your earbuds.
Matt, thank you for the $5 super chat. Did you watch Thunderbolts without watching Hawkeye first? If so, you missed a ton of Yelena's character development.
I guess. Everyone's like, "Oh, you missed it." Wait, so Elena is that's
Widow's
not the main
sister.
one, is it?
Mm-hmm.
It is Widow's sister. I maybe because I think Heather, you were telling me that too. It's like, oh, you gotta see it because there's a lot to. I thought it was like, what's her name? It was a Hawkeye's daughter or something like that. Who's the
Kate
bow and
Bishop?
arrow? Yeah, I thought like she was gonna be in Thunderbolts or something, and she wasn't. So I was like, yeah, I wonder what they were talking about with that. It's like, oh, she was in the show. So I feel like I still followed it pretty well. And again, I think that's a testament to how good an actress she is. I just assume they went from, Black Widow. She went from Black Widow to this, and I feel like, yeah, I still got the idea of everything she's gone through, and she played it out great. And I think like a lot of people say, she's probably the best thing in the movie. So, yeah, I mean, it's like I should see it. I hear it's a good show, but again, I think it's really a testament to her acting that even without that information, I still feel like I got the gist of what she's about.
The Ultimate Frozen Fan, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Doug, have you seen the GTA 6 trailer? If so, thoughts? Also, is it just me, or does Jason look a bit like Ryan Gosling from The Fall Guy?
This is a newer one, right?
Yeah, it like just dropped a couple of days ago, the newest GTA 6 trailer.
No, I haven't yet, and I really should because the teaser I saw was pretty fun. Yeah, I'm surprised I haven't seen it. Just 80 million views. Come on, I'm not that far behind you. Oh my god, the first one got 255 million views a year ago. Good god. Yeah, I should see this because yeah, I maybe I can help bring it to 81 million, in half a minute.
Super Droid, thank you for the 500 bits. I disagree with you about Nobody Else But You song from a Goofy movie. I thought it was heartfelt, emotional song with Goofy and Max coming to understand each other and learn they need from one another. It's a great scene showing their father and song finally bonding. It's one of my favorite songs in the movie.
I get it. I'm not gonna act like I don't follow that. It's just not my type. But there's something about songs that it's the same reason I don't get into Randy Newman. There's something about pauses in the songs I just can't stand. I don't like those type of songs. But I get why other people would. It's very, they probably see it as very relaxing and laid back. I mean, it's fitting that they're kind of rolling down the river because it's almost like something you hear like while fishing or humming into your head. But it's just not for me. I'm not saying it's like objectively a terrible song or anything, but it's never been my thing.
Chase, thank you for the $5 super chat. This is part 1 of 2. Jokes you could have used in Final Destination. Sorry, we only have tables and bars. Where is the booth? Someone stole from your shower. Where is the loof?
Where is the loof?
Case, thank you for the $10 super chat. Will you be doing an NC of Spy Kids 2? It's a lot better than the first, in my opinion, and a lot of it was filmed in Big Bend National Park, Texas, which isn't too far from my hometown.
I guess I gotta see it again because I remember it being a downgrade from the first one, but maybe I'll watch it again and be like, holy smokes, what was wrong with me? This one's better. Yeah, I definitely will. I don't know when. I should probably do them all because, like I said, there's a fourth and a fifth, surprisingly. But yeah, I should probably give them all a look.
Joel B, thank you for the 500 bits. Well, Doug, if you thought Nutcracker 3D was the biggest WTF film you've seen, then you should check out Whitebird. Basically, it's if you combine Bridge to Terabithia with The Pianist. I'm not joking.
Whoa, Whitebird movie.
Yeah, I definitely need a movie on that one.
A wonder story. Oh wait, huh? I think I've seen the trailer for this. I remember it looking bad, but I didn't remember if it actually. Let me just see what it got Rotten Tomatoes. Now I'm really curious because I was one of those where I'm just like, I'd be surprised if this is actually a good movie, but maybe it is. Let's see. Oh no, a lot of people seem to like it. Okay, maybe I'll give it a look.
There it is. Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. This is part 2 of 2. The love interest in the Teen Wolf TV show got changed. Where is the booth? Looks like this church only allows adults. Where is the youth?
I see a pattern going on here. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't reference reviews that not that many people checked out, but sometimes that's fun too. I'll just do a little joke that's like, this is just for me. Nobody else is gonna get, but this is just for me.
Matt, thank you for the $5 super chat. What are some of the best and worst and weirdest pieces of media that you've checked out because of a recommendation from chat?
Man, from chat. Maybe the Munsters movie trailer. I remember I didn't even know this thing was out, and all chat was just like, oh my god, can you watch it right now? Can we just see a reaction right now? I can't remember if we did my reaction or not. On there, but I mean, we didn't have it playing, obviously. But I'm sure there's other stuff, but yeah, I guess that's the first one that's popping in my head.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Do you think you would do a movie review of The Goonies?
Excuse me. Probably not. I like the movie. It's a good movie. That was not my 80s film growing up. I know it was for a lot of kids, and I get why. Like, it is good and very unique, but yeah, it just wasn't mine. So I feel like I would review it and say it's good. It's a good movie, and then not have too much else to say about it. So yeah, I think you need someone that has like a more passionate view on it to review it than me, because I'm not going to bring that much.
AOTV, thank you for the $5 super chat. My family and I loved Thunderbolts. David Harbour was hilarious. We're excited to see them in Doomsday next year.
Yeah, I was telling Heather before, I think I'm kind of the outlier, and even as the outlier, I definitely didn't hate it. I kept like in the review, I was like, I don't know if I like this or dislike. I'm trying to figure it out, and overall, I still kind of said, yeah, like it's not for me. But I think I also said, you know what, I can see myself changing my mind in a week about it. So I should see it again because my big thing was how they handled Bob in the movie. It just seemed a little too disjointed, but some people are saying that's kind of the idea. So maybe I should give another chance. But yeah, just some of the switches and changes he went through just were way too quick, and I felt like got in the way of me understanding him more. But maybe now that I know everything about him, I'll go in, watch, and be like, oh yeah, this totally works. But I still liked a lot in it. I'm glad it's doing well because I like those characters, I like those actors, and yeah, I definitely wouldn't mind seeing more with them.
Danger, thank you for the $10 super chat. Has anyone floated the idea of, sorry, a Giacchino F4 theme version for the adequately impressive three as they watch new Daredevil Born Again on Disney Plus?
No,
No, yeah.
I don't know what that first part is. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm sure I messed it up. Sorry. I know a guy. Thank you for becoming a member for 15 months over on YouTube. Really
Thank
appreciate
you.
that. Hell of a Boss is coming to Prime Video, meaning that it can cross over with Has Been Hotel. Viv will still have full creative control, and it will premiere new episodes on Prime a month before YouTube.
Um, yeah, no, it's cool. It'll be cool to see the crossover. Like I said, my only concern, it's not even a major concern because it's still good animation, is the animation will take a downgrade. But maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe it'll have the exact same quality as online. So we'll just have to see.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Heather and Invincible, what do you think of Angstrom? I don't know what it is
Love
about
that game.
him, but I feel like of all the threats that Invincible has out there in the world, he's the one that I roll my eyes at when I see him. I'm like, oh God, this guy again. He's like a little cockroach. And every time I'm like, oh God, this guy again. Joel B, thank you for the 500 bits. Growing up in the 80s, were you a fan of arcade games such as Pac-Man, Centipede, Space Invaders, etc.?
Yeah, so when I was growing up, those were still a thing and we played them, but like kind of the action games were getting going. Like the one I remember playing a lot was like RoboCop in the arcade. Like that was a fun game, or Superman, that was another fun one to play. So they were a little bit evolved beyond, Pac-Man and all that, but we still love playing them in Space Invaders and all that. But yeah, it's like as a kid, it's like, well, okay, you gotta play a dot eating other little dots. You gotta play as RoboCop. It's like I'm gonna play RoboCop, but obviously those are classic games.
AOTV, thank you for the $10 super chat. You didn't like the villain in Guardians 3. Here's my rebuttal. He's a madman whose face was destroyed by rocket and lost his mind. His screaming showed how insane that he's become.
Constantly, though, I don't know if insanity is always that loud. I think insanity has many different layers to it, and loud is not the permanent setting.
Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. With Bob and Thunderbolts, I figured less is more. They gave us the basics of his character and didn't bog us down in too many details. Right call.
Oh, okay, you
Yeah, sorry,
took
I
a
took a breath
breath
in
like you were
at a
gonna
weird
do.
time. Sorry. That was my bad.
No, and he's not played bad. I agree. I usually don't need that much, but there's a lot of buildup around it, and very good buildup. So I was getting more and more excited about what this was going to be, and the payoff's not bad. I just wish it kind of flowed together better because I want to feel for him. But to me, he just went back and forth so much between like just kind of this doofus guy, and then just like, this dark, tortured person. I mean, like, it was such a big shift that it was hard for me to even see them as the same person, which again, some people say is the idea. Um, but I feel like that could have been so together a little better. But again, I will rewatch it. I'll rewatch it like when it comes to streaming. I'll do like a Disney December because I'm sure people want to know my spoiler thoughts on it, and give my thoughts then. But yeah, that was that, and still the comedic writing I don't think is that great, but the actors were so good. It wasn't awful, but yeah, I don't know. Some of those quips just are not doing it for me.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Possible NC in the future for Chicken Run. I know you did a DreamWorks on it, but you could get some material out of it. Also, it's 25 years old.
Maybe, I like it. I don't love it. I love the animation. I love the idea. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's something to it. I'll get back to you on that.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think of Cecil from Invincible? I really like him. I think he plays his part well, but also kind of nuanced, especially the way that his relationship with Mark and his family is constantly changing and evolving. And he's I like learning that we've learned a little bit more about his backstory now too. So it's interesting. I like him. He's an interesting character in the play? What? In the show? Ice Luigi Star...
the low-budget play.
Right. Ice Luigi Star Pictures, thank you for the $5 super chat. Seeing the amount of references you made of My Little Pony in some of your NC reviews, are you yourself a brony? And there's no shame,
I'm not.
Doug.
No. And so I made a lot of references to it back then because that's when it was really exploding, really huge. And just, I think in one video I even say, yeah, for some reason, whenever I say pony, the views really go up. Pony. We see the views go up. Because that was kind of the case back then because the fan base was so diehard. So I tried giving it a watch. It's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not my thing. I'm more of like Adventure Time, Steven Universe, Gravity Falls. Like those are the shows that really grab me. But no, for what it is, totally fine. Just not my thing.
The doctor on YouTube chat in all caps. We're not turning this into another brony message board. It's all right. It's fine. Everything's great. We're all
It's already begun.
Trip, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you think the Snow White disaster had anything to do with the Tiana spinoff being canceled? Also, will you review anything from Arthur on PBS?
Arth, as in the aardvark?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay.
That's what I think of when I hear Arthur on PBS.
It probably is. No, so it shows you how it just missed me. So I grew up with the books. I remember liking the books fine. So when it became a cartoon, I knew what it was, but I never saw the cartoon. I was just too old for it at that time. I didn't even know I thought the fist was literally just like, it was just a random picture, like in the scene where just the person randomly had a fist. I didn't know like, he actually hits him. He hits his sister or something. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm behind on all that. And then what's the first half of the question?
Do you think the Snow White disaster had anything to do with the Tiana spinoff being canceled?
I don't know. So it's weird. I like Princess and the Frog. I like those characters. And I said I want to see them more as human, or at least the Tiana as human and keep him as a frog. A show, though? I don't know. I'd have to see what they had in mind. It could be not. I don't know. I mean, even before Snow White, they had... last couple of years, was that awful 2023, I think, just bomb after bomb after bomb. So, I wouldn't be shocked if it was a delayed reaction to that too. But, yeah, I don't know. And I don't know if it's a good thing or not. Could have been this phenomenal show, or maybe it was nothing. Again, they turned Moana, 2. It was supposed to be a show. It turned into a movie. So, yeah, I don't know.
Adriana, thank you for the $10 super chat. How in the heck did you manage to gain enough confidence to be a reviewer? I thought about being a content creator someday, but I'm ungodly awkward and afraid, and I don't like how my voice sounds.
It depends what brings you happiness. For me, I always liked talking about movies. I always liked comedic characters, especially the jerks. I loved, Bill Murray, Daffy Duck, like all these, cynical characters. I thought combining them would be fun. But if that doesn't bring you joy, don't do it. I always tell people, if you're going to go in entertainment, the number one rule is always do it because you love it, because there's a lot working against you and there's a lot almost guaranteeing it will go nowhere. Even with everything being as open as it is now that you can do it from home and everything. Uh, the good news is everybody can do it. The bad news is everybody can do it. And if you look back and it goes nowhere and you say, well, no, I would do this anyway because this brings me joy. I like it. Well, perfect. You've already won. And if it does become something, great, you'll appreciate it all the more. If it doesn't, you're going to look back and be like, well, I just wasted time. I don't like doing this. Or even worse, if it does become something, you'll be even more miserable and it'll be even more magnified, because I've seen that happen. I've seen people get into this line of business for the audience, for the love, for the hits, for the likes and stuff like that. And they are not happy. So that's definitely if you're like, I don't know, I don't think this is me, then don't do it. Find what is you. If you want to experiment with it, fine. But if it's not bringing you joy, don't do it. I mean, your time is precious. Definitely, do what you love.
Joel, thank you for the 500 bits. Did you watch the recent miniseries Adolescence?
I started it. My wife watched it and said it was very good. And I started. It's good so far. It is slow, and I know that's the idea. It's supposed to feel very realistic, but there are a lot of moments where I'm like, it doesn't all have to be one shot, right? I mean, we can fast forward this a little bit, but I should wait till I watch more episodes though, because everybody says it's fantastic.
It's very good. I just finished
Yeah,
it.
I've heard that.
Retro Schmo, thank you for the $2 super chat. Do you think Beavis or Butthead was more funny?
Uh. I don't, what a silly question to be torn on. I'm just like, I don't know. I think they're both equally funny. For similar and different reasons. Yeah, just different voices and but sort of same stupidity. Yeah, no, I can't choose.
Crass, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, I meant to tell you this last week. Sony's K-pop Demon Hunter is an animated film. It's CG.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, try to check it out at some point.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. One of my favorite scenes in Last Crusade is when Indy and his father escape the castle and briefly talk about Indy's mother. What do you think of that scene?
Oh, it's good. Anything about their father and son relationship, especially thinking back to like when he was younger and everything, it is wonderfully done and weirdly believable. Again, in so many movies where I feel like you see this in a lot of Marvel movies, not always a bad thing, but the stoic mean father is still a stoic mean father, later on. And I love they catch on to, he was very stoic when he was younger, and now he's just kind of a funny dud. He's like out of the action. Like now his son, he's worked to make his son really tough, and now the son is more tough than he is, and he can't keep up. And that's very common. That's very believable. If you want more of it, there's a fantastic show. They cut it down, sadly, on Disney Plus. And when they did, even before Disney Plus, it was Lucas who did it. But Chronicles of Young Indiana Jones is really, really well done. You just have to keep in mind they put 2 episodes together, and they take every episode and they take out the beginning and the end where he's an old man. And I don't know why. Those were wonderful moments. But we got them on DVD. If you can find them on DVD, they have a lot of great extra features. It's very, very well put together.
Miss Yummy, thank you for the $10 super chat. Have you ever decided to revisit and redo some older videos again? Example, I would like you to talk about Short Circuit 1 and 2 movies again and have your updated thoughts, plus 2025 people could see it.
We've talked about, it's funny, it wouldn't be for that. I feel like I got most of my thoughts out on that. But certainly the ones in that first year, like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Ninja Turtles, Super Mario Brothers movie, back when we only had 10 minutes to do a video. I wouldn't mind going into more detail. And the style was so different then. And I feel like you actually really could analyze these and have fun. I always say maybe the last year I do this, maybe I'll do it then, because that kind of makes sense to do it like, well, haha, he's out of ideas. You're right. That's why I'm finishing it up. So at some point I will. I don't know when. Like I said, we talked about maybe the last year, but we don't know that for certain.
Will, thank you for the 10-month membership over on YouTube. Appreciate that. Are there any film performances that you wish got more attention and talked about with other roles that have left their mark on cinema? Hopkins as Lecter, Hanks as Gump, Ledger as Joker, etc.
I don't know why this one's jumping out at me. I remember in the movie Monster, Charlize Theron got a lot of attention for that. Another thing I might say is she is good. She is very good. But Christina Ricci, I thought was also very, very good in that movie, and I feel bad she was kind of overshadowed by Theron in that. And not to say like anyone thought she was bad or anything, but yeah, I was just like, man, she is like, I thought she held her own pretty good with that performance. I'm sure there's others, but that's the major one that's standing out to me right now.
The Catabolic T-Rex, thank you for the $5 super chat. When you said that you were doing a Kurt Russell movie, I thought it was finally going to be 3,000 Miles to Graceland. Thanks for getting my hopes up, you jerk.
Uh, yeah, I mean the clue was so obvious, and clearly people demanding it for years and years. They'll just have to wait longer, I guess.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. What if King of Queens and Seinfeld did a crossover?
Well, they would share the same dad with George's dad and his dad because they're both Jerry Stiller. Um, I guess there's some similarities. I don't know. I don't see Seinfeld doing crossovers. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they would have to do something weird or different with it, and I don't know what they would do. But and like I said, I don't think I've seen enough of King of Queens to really be like, haha, I can see all the possibilities with it. But I guess they do have some similar humor.
Chase, thank you for the $10 super chat. I wasn't a follower of the Harry Potter franchise book/films, but I will say it came out at the precise right time, because I'm reminded of my happy youth in Alaska whenever I hear the Hogwarts theme play.
And I'll say as someone that's never gotten that into Harry Potter, I mean, like it's totally fine. I am still ecstatic that it got kids into reading because that just was not a popular thing when I was growing up. You were like the bookworm. You're the why are you reading? Why'd you come outside and play basketball or something like that? I was never that great at reading. So I was one of those kids doing something else. So I saw kids who read, sort of being made fun of and stuff like that. So the fact that not only did it make reading popular, but like it's still popular. Like they're still looking for like young adult books to adapt, and just a lot of stuff that younger people grew up with in general to adapt into movies, and I think that's fantastic. So yeah, I mean, even that I saw the video of like the Harry Potter ride at the new one at Universal, and again, I don't get into Harry Potter, but I'm just like this is amazing, holy smokes. So I mean, all of that, I think just the imagination it sparked in kids and kids that grow up with it and everything, and it's still a thing. I mean, when somebody's like, what school do you belong to? I'm like, I don't know, I know what Slytherin is, I don't know what anything else is. So I guess I'd be Slytherin. But yeah, I think it's great the impact it's had on like not just pop culture but kids and reading. That's like a major thing.
Bernsey, thank you for the 500 bits. Hi, Doug. You mentioned doing a review of The Long Kiss Goodnight in January. My birthday is January 11th, so if you happen to do a review, I'd love a shout out as I did request this review. Thanks.
I mean, I had it on the list for a while. I've had this on since like, I don't know, the first 4 years, because it is a really fun movie. I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, I do usually do them in January. Ones I don't know how they'll do. I try to work them then, but yeah, we'll see.
Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. Something I like to do is theorize about what movies would have won animated feature in the years before the category was first introduced in 2002, 2001.
That's a fun idea. Yeah, I don't know. See, like the Chipmunks movie winning best animated feature because it just wasn't much else out at that time. Yeah, no, it's kind of a fun thing to think about.
Retro Schmo, thank you for the $5 super chat. How did you feel about most of the B and B segments narratives only lasting around 5 to 6 minutes? Sorry, it's 5 to 6 minutes. The music videos usually weren't part of the plot.
Oh, in Beavis and Butthead, I'm assuming they're talking about. I It's weird because like on the one hand, it's just cool to see him talk about something that like was popular at the time. But that was never my favorite section. Every once in a while, they get a really good laugh, but that was never my favorite section. My favorite section was just them going out and doing something stupid. That was usually where the bigger laughs were. And I think that still kind of is the idea because I think anytime they brought him back, I don't know if they still look at music videos or not. Maybe they do, but whenever they bring him back, it's usually like a movie or something. And, they focus on that.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Heather and Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, what do you think of indie sidekick Gina? I feel like I have a love-hate relationship with her. Like, she is very stereotypical, like, sassy female, like, sidekick, you know. So I mean, her and Indy have some great banter every now and then, but her story is also really predictable and she's pretty like not one-dimensional, but kind of, and she goes through a lot of the tropes that you think she would go through. So it's like, yeah, of course. Like, I don't think this is too much of a spoiler, but at one point you're in a boat and she's like, I can't swim, and I'm like, of course you freaking can't. Just stay in the boat, Sheena. Of course you can't swim. Oh God. So she was a little annoying, but also I don't love-hate relationship. Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Heather, did you or Doug cry at the Fresh Prince episode where Will's dad leaves him again and he breaks down to Uncle Phil? Spoiler, I did. Of course.
Yeah. I don't know. How do I put it? I don't know if I've cried, but there is definitely something stopping me from crying. You know what I mean? When he does that yell, they're saying to hell with him. That is just like, I mean, that's like, I don't know. You feel like you're in like a theater when you see like a really good live performance,
Mhm.
and someone's just like, it's like that screen's not there, and you're watching them like on stage, like you're in the room with them. Like that rarely happens when watching something on TV. Let alone something like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And the story behind that is really interesting too. How I'm blanking out his name, Avery, I forget, but how he worked with Will Smith quite a bit to get that right, because he had been like classically trained and everything, and they worked very, very, just tirelessly on that scene, and it shows. It's very, very well done. I think easily the best scene in the whole show.
Ryan, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you thought about reviewing the Rainier beer commercials? They're some of the strangest, most creative commercials you've ever seen on TV.
Spill it.
Rainier. Rainier, like Mount Rainier.
Okay. Yeah, I've never seen these. I will try to check them out.
AOTV Productions, thank you for the $5 super chat. With summer being here, will you review the 2010 horror comedy Piranha 3D?
Man, I forgot that was even a thing. I think I remember the original Piranha movie more in 3D. Maybe I want to say it's one of those movies where it actually kind of got good reviews. Maybe I'm wrong. But I don't know if anyone remembers. I know I do, so you don't have to. But I really don't think anyone would remember that. So probably not. We do a mix of stuff we want to do and stuff people want us to do, and that's one where it's like, I'll try to check it out. How about that? I'll try to check it out and see if I'm suddenly inspired to do a review on it.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. In Ferris Bueller's Day Off, what do you think would happen if he got caught? I think personally he would win either way. While he was not graduate, I think he would be with his girlfriend for the last year, and then he could marry her at the end of their senior year.
Wow, you have that all planned out. I don't know. I think you just get in detention, and then like a bunch of the kids would be like, from Save Ferris to Free Ferris. I can see that being like an alternate ending. Like he gets trapped, but then the kids are kind of cheering for him, so he kind of loses, but he kind of wins in a different way. So yeah, maybe there's something there.
Joel B, thank you for the 500 bits. Which wacky superhero movie do you prefer, The Mask or Deadpool?
Deadpool is better, but I have a bigger soft spot for The Mask. I just like I like Harry Zipkiss a little bit more, and I like the visual style of that movie a little bit more. But Deadpool is a better movie.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Heather, in the 3 seasons of Vox Machina we have gotten, which of the 7 leads do you think has had the best development? I would probably go with Scanlan or Percy. I feel like it's probably Scanlan just because he starts so stereotypical, just like goof off bard, and then we learn so much about him through like his relationships with other characters and all that jazz. So I think I'm gonna go with Scanlan. Malty, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you seen either version of the Salem's Lot miniseries? One was from 1979, the other from 2004, and there's actually a movie on Max.
No, and I should. I hear it's good. I've never seen it though, and I really should.
Retro Schmo, thank you for the $2 super chat. Lumami, thank you for the $5 super chat. It'd be great if you reviewed I Heart Huckabees. It has an insane Mark Wahlberg performance and no reviews. I call it the movie the world forgot about.
Well, people don't forget the outtakes. Well, and they definitely remember the director for other things, I guess. I guess he got some hot water later. But I remember liking the movie. I It's another one I don't think I have a ton to say about it, but I remember it kept my interest. I wanted to know what was going to happen. And you're right, the acting is good in it. And again, you would hope so. Look up the outtakes; they're quite memorable.
Bernsey, thank you for the 500 bits. Doug, check out Space Ice. I think no one at YouTube knows about him because he gets away with so much.
Space Ice. Okay, yeah, I've never even heard of that guy or woman. I do not know, or team, whoever
That
this is.
person.
That person. Yeah, I've never seen this. I'll try to check it out.
Satanic Sun, thank you for the $5 super chat. No message, just the chat. Future Movie Actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. Wanted to check on the status of the Scared Silly NC's numbers, as I wanted to find out if you were prepped to do the other 5 too, even if all in one.
All in one. Sheesh. I'll check them out. I haven't looked at them yet. When I get closer to like nostalgia ween time, I'll take a look and see how it's doing if I want to do the others.
Jonathan Lane, thank you for the $5 super chat. No message, just the chat. JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Sometimes I wish I could rage like the Nostalgia Critic in life in general.
Don't. Not a wise idea.
Dave, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you ever watch Jubilee, aka the Jerry Springer of debate channels?
For a second, I thought you meant the X-Men. No, I guess not. That was my thought. Like, oh, what on X-Men? Yeah, when I watch X-Men, it's like, oh, no, I do not know what this is.
Future Movie Actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. In addition to 3 more Spy Kids movies, Shark Boy and Lava Girl also got a loose sequel on Netflix, We Can Be Heroes. Taylor Dooley returns as Lava Girl.
Yeah, I heard about that. I saw them advertising it. I don't think I heard the best things, but I could be wrong. So yeah, that'll be something else to check out, I guess.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. And Collateral, what do you think of Tom Cruise? Do you think he's a good villain?
Yeah, I always have an issue with Tom Cruise in that I always see Tom Cruise. It's very rare that I don't. And that is one of those where I'm like, okay, like it's Tom Cruise giving a performance. I always see that, but it's a good performance. You know what I mean? It's not like he's bad. But it's very, very hard for me not to see him. It's pretty rare that it happens. But I remember him being good. I definitely don't remember being bad or him like being distracting or anything. But it's always Tom Cruise playing a part. You know what I mean?
Satanic Sun, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey Doug, hope you and the crew are doing well. Do you plan on doing a Beetlejuice 2 NC in the future?
Yeah, I was just thinking about that recently. Like, I have it on the list, and I'm kind of thinking, like, yeah, I'm kind of in the mood to talk about. It. So maybe it'll be, it won't be this month. Maybe next month. Because I think it would be interesting to talk about.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. I think your never-ending story rant at the end is priceless.
Oh, thank you. I'm assuming you're talking about 3. Was it even a rant? I just remember destroying the DVD. Maybe that's what counts as a rant. I don't know, but thank you either way.
Joel B, thank you for the 500 bits. Thoughts on the Simpsons episode 201 Greyhounds?
I like it. I don't remember it being like one of my personal favorites or anything, but it does have a really great joke where, you know, the puppies are being born. They're like 23, 24, and you see the clock going around. They're just looking so amazed. You think, oh, they're going to do 101 and everything. And then they just go 25. I thought that was so funny.
On a Joker, thank you for the 500 bits. I know you worry about YouTube censorship, but it's still there all these years later. Duck breasts. Seriously, what the F was up with Howard the Duck?
I don't know. I mean, breast is the tastiest part of the duck, so it doesn't surprise me. Maybe that's their thought. It's like, well, if you can see it on a plate, why? What's the difference on a screen? I don't know. The older ones usually don't get hit, maybe just because time has passed and they're not, looking for it. But yeah, newer stuff. Sadly, we got to keep more of an eye out for.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. I really wish you would do a review of Quantum Leap, the original show, because it is really good until the end.
Okay, I'll just skip the end then. I've heard it's really good too. I've seen bits and pieces. I definitely seen the memes, some of the episodes and stuff. But I remember seeing it sometimes on TV, and yeah, I remember liking it. Jim J. Ross really, really likes that show a great deal. And he's talked about like what impact it's had on him. So I mean, he's a pretty interesting guy. So I should probably see that show.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thoughts on the movies Ghost in the Shell, anime, and The Insider with Al Pacino and Russell Crowe?
Anna. Oh,
The Ghost in the
the
Shell
Ghost in the Shell
anime
anime.
movie. Yes,
Gotcha. I thought there was
not
just
the
a movie
live
called
action.
Anime.
No, 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 no. No, the anime version.
I see what you're saying. I have to see it again because I saw it when I was pretty young and I didn't follow it. So I was like, oh, okay, well, whatever. Nobody's gonna be talking about this years later. It's anime. People forget about it and whatever. It's still like seen as this big classic. So I got to see it again. And then what was the other one?
The Insider with Al Pacino and Russell Crowe.
Uh, okay, I remember that. Again, I only saw it once. I remember liking it. I still remember Pacino being pretty screamy in it, but I guess not as much as usual. But yeah, I remember it being good.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits and Turning Red. Who do you think gives the better performance? Rosalie Chiang as the daughter or Sandra Oh as the mother?
Sandra Oh. There and it's hard to say it's even the actress. They're both doing fine, but I mean the character just has more history. So I think, and she's kind of right. You could argue she's the one that's kind of in the middle of everything. So she's gonna kind of be the most interesting. And she did get the biggest laughs for me in that last third, where I guess I still don't want to give it away, but yeah, what they do with her during the concert, I just thought was so funny.
Adriana, thank you for the $5 super chat. Will you ever review any movie in the Look Who's Talking franchise? I grew up with the first two, and they're fun despite their cheesiness.
Yeah, and that's my review. They're fun despite their cheesiness. I don't have much else to say outside of that. They're fine. I really can't add much else.
Retro Schmo, thank you for the $2 super chat. The Wizard of What, thank you for the $5 super chat. If they made a legacy sequel to Neverending Story, what would you want to see? Personally, I want to see Atreyu back. He got the shaft in the third one.
I wouldn't want to see a legacy sequel. I think if you're gonna do it, do a reboot and maybe do like a show or a mini series, and do it more like the book, because the first half really is kind of like the first movie, and the second half is a little bit more like the second movie, except they go even further. Like Bastion really becomes corrupted, and it's very, very interesting. And I think you could do an interesting mini series around that. But yeah, legacy sequel, I'm not seeing that.
AOTV, thank you for the $10 super chat. When Master of Disguise was being filmed, 9/11 happened. As the towers were being hit, Dana Carvey led a prayer group while in his turtle suit and bald cap.
Yeah, Brad
I've
brings
heard
that up a lot, and it is hilarious. There's just no denying.
Right. That's just comedy.
Yeah, and I'm not even saying like, how dare Dana Carvey do that? No, that was very, very kind of him to do it. Acknowledge that we're all feeling something, but yeah, how can you not laugh? Imagining that's the scene in Harold and Maude where the funeral is going on and a parade happens to be going by at the same time while they're putting the coffin in the hearse. I mean, it's not like anyone should be ashamed or anything. It's just funny. It's just macabre humor.
Pedro, thank you for the $5 super chat. How did you get approached by the Smiling Friends crew to appear on the Halloween episode? What was the experience like? Sponsored by Dollar Shave Club.
Well, that's not true. If that was true, the Dollar Shave Club would be the majority of your message. But we would just skip over it. No, they just asked. I was very excited to be in it because I told them like that is like the hit show. And I think it is a callback to a lot of like classic old school kind of internet humor. And they were super sweet, they were super kind, and we did a bunch of tests about like what the outfit should look like and what the background should look like. There actually is a background that's much more detailed. It looks like a dungeon and there's like hanging skeletons and skulls, and they were just like, we're kind of just hoping for the gray background. Like, oh, we can do that too. And I kept asking too, like, do you want a character? Do you want a voice? And I'm like, no, just you. You're Daniel the Demon Slayer. I'm like, all right. So that's what I gave him.
James, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you thought of doing a Tom and Jerry compilation video of all the videos that you've made? The 5 film reviews, 2 editorials, and top 11.
Yeah. Probably whenever I do the next compilation, that'll probably be the next one. Yeah, it is one of those where I'm like, yeah, how have I not done that one yet? There's a lot of them.
Taylor with Ty, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you seen the Richard Linklater movie Walking Life? Or Waking.
Oh,
Oops.
Waking Life.
Waking Life. Yep, that was on me.
Yes, when I was younger and more pretentious, I loved it. And then when I watched it again, I'm like, I don't like this. It's it. Well, when people talk about like I don't know, like AI, it looks like early AI animation. You know what I mean? It looks cheap. It doesn't really serve much in terms of what they're talking about. There's a great idea in there in terms of like different types of philosophies and abstract animation. Doing with that, like what Fantasia did with animation and music, classical music, you could do with animation and philosophy. I think you can do it, but they just gotta get together. They talk. He just goes to another one, and it's just kind of rotoscope in a way that doesn't add much. It doesn't take you too much into a dreamlike state. Once in a while, it does, but yeah, it didn't do much for me. There's one or two moments I like, but it didn't come together for me.
Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. Tim Curry's been in all 3 Rugrats movies, by the way, and not just the first as Rex Pester and third as Nigel Thornberry. Not saying who in second one. Haha.
Oh, I'll just have to find out, won't I? That'll encourage me to see it more. Ooh.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In Transformers 1, what do you think of the scene where the final battle where Optimus banishes Megatron? I think it's a great scene, and it is sad to see them officially go from being as close to brothers as being bitter, lifelong rivals.
Yeah, no, it is really good. And it does feel, for the most part, worked up to. Rob and I talked about a scene we did have a problem with. And you have to go into a spoiler to talk about it. But the last thing Megatron says before dropping Optimus, I'll say that. And as Rob said, he was just like, that's not what happened. It was the other way around. And that's a good point. But also, it's just like, nah, that just seems like you needed one more thing to happen before we get to that moment. But everything after that and before that, for the most part, you follow and is very, very well done.
Cool Kaz, thank you for the 500 bits. Hello, Critic. Big fan of your content. Have you seen the Minecraft movie yet? And if so, what do you think of it? Also, Chicken Jockey!
Where's my huge bag of popcorn? Where's my chicken? How do they sneak that in? I can't even get like a Kit Kat bar. I'm sorry, nothing allowed. Somebody brought a chicken. But you can watch my review. I did a vlog review of it, and I didn't like it. It's just had a big surprise. I also don't know the game very well, so I'm also going in not like a huge fan. But even at the screening I went to, the advanced screening, kids were going nuts for it. They were all quoting the line. I felt like these were lines from the game, but I guess people just kept watching the trailer over and over. It was all over the place that they just turned it into like this intentional abomination, which is like, all right, I kind of see the humor for it, but yes, I do feel bad for the people who have to clean up afterwards. And the audience members are just going to see a movie and then they're just suddenly under attack.
Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. What's left from the Will Never review list? Watership Down, TMNT 3, plans for TMNT month confirmed though, toys, and Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Yeah, it is one of those where it's like, I'm not intentionally trying to do those, but it is one of those where it's like, it would be fun just to mark them all off the list, just to be like, haha, I am completely wrong. Things can change, and never trust me.
Maze, thank you for the $5 super chat. With its 40th anniversary on the cusp, could we be seeing an NC for Goonies, Doug?
Again, probably not. I just don't think I'm going to add anything to it. It's a good movie. I'm not going to say it's not. And definitely a good 80s awareness movie of what films were like, especially like kids' films back then and everything. But it's not the one that grabbed me. But it is good. I definitely recommend it. And I get why it has a following. I'm just not one of those that got super, super into it. I think you need a super fan to bring something unique to it. I'm not going to bring anything that unique.
Brett, thank you for the $5 super chat. Heather, what was your favorite NC review to film and why? And same question for Doug. I think we're going to have similar answers because I feel like we always answer this basically the same way, like the Fox Kids, Toonami reviews.
Yeah.
First of all, for me, we don't normally get to write for NC, but for those like Kids WB, Toonami, Fox Kids reviews, we do actually get to write what we were saying for like those different segments because we had experience with them. So that's why Toonami sticks out to me, because I watched a lot of those shows growing up and they meant a lot to me. And it was just really fun to be able to write my own portions and talk about it. And it also is just the vibe of a sleepover.
Yeah, we all get stupid giddy.
Yes.
And super. I mean, you watch the bloopers are so long on this, the Fox Kids one and the Kids WB especially. And one that suddenly I thought back to me because somebody brought up Jubilee earlier. I was thinking of the first time we had you as like Jubileevil, is that what we call you?
Yes.
Yeah, and particularly just how cruel you are to Tamara's Harry Potter, because you just look so smarmy, like like the teacher's pet, and she just looks like she's trying everything to make me happy and is failing and is just getting beaten up worse and worse. And just the contrast of you looking so smarmy and her just like half the time just hanging in somebody's arms, breathing heavily. It's that contrast is very funny.
Seth, thank you for the $5 super chat. Did you guys get a chance to see Tales of the Underworld? I think it's the best Star Wars we have gotten in a while, especially the Cad Bane episodes. I forgot that was out.
No, I haven't yet. It did look kind of cool. Yeah, but it's another one. I'm with you. I forgot about it, and I really like Ventress. So the idea of seeing more what happens with her, I'm pretty interested in.
So thanks for the reminder. Brett, thank you for the $5 super chat. Favorite joke from each movie in the Cornetto trilogy?
Oh man, God, I don't know.
Oh,
There's
no.
just so many. All right, in the last one, I love I love when there's one sober guy and they're like, okay, we can use him, and then just he's so like, I think he's like, he went through AA, he's sober, and like just everything going on. They're like, but he's the designated driver, he can do it. And he just goes, he slams something like 5 shots because he's just like, this is the word because it's the end of the world. What time to do it? In Hot Fuzz, man, I can't even choose. That just all of it collectively is great. Oh no, Fascist Hag, that was pretty great. And then the first one, probably just the plans for how they're gonna, wrap up their plan. Go wait for this all to blow over. That was pretty funny.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Heather, in Avatar The Last Airbender, how would you rank the 5 main characters? Oh, man. Aang, Zuko, Katara, Sokka, and Toph. Zuko is probably my favorite. Then I'll go Katara. Toph, Aang, Sokka. Yeah. That's what I'll do. Movie Lover, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey, Doug and Heather, has Walter seen the rest of the tier list yet? I'm curious to see what his thoughts are on the White Castle placements.
Yeah, I don't know if he has. My assumption is no, because he has not let us know yet.
Yeah, true. Joel B, thank you for the 500 bits. This is part 1 of 2. The film Whitebird has one of the craziest tonal shifts I've seen in a movie. One moment it will be incredibly over whimsical, with Helen Mirren pushing the message of how important kindness is while staring at a cartoon bird.
It looked like that kind of movie when I saw the advertisements for it. But again, the audiences seem to like it, critics seem to like it, so I'm a little curious to check it out.
Mustard Man, thank you for the 500 bits. Watched Beau is Afraid on Max. It's in Ari Aster film, all right. Regardless of how anyone feels about his movies, they are impossible to look away from.
Yeah, I can see it. I would have liked that film more if they cut out an hour. I mean, it's a very long movie. And there is something weird when a lot of these experimental art house films will do something that's very clever, but you get the idea, and for some reason they're like, no, we really want you to sit with this idea. It's like, I get that. We don't need to sit this long. We got it, and that is one of those where the length really did get in the way. But what happens in the movie, I think is great. I think it's very clever. But yeah, just cut out an hour, man.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Heather, which Indiana Jones villain do you like more? Belloc from Raiders or Donovan from Last Crusade? Oh, man.
That's rough.
I think I'm going to go with Belloc. I mean, Donovan
Yeah.
is crazy, but like, there's something about the way that Belloc and Indiana Jones like interact that just pushes it up a little bit more for me. You
Yeah,
know?
you see him like sitting at the table, like, like in Casablanca or something.
Hmm.
He's like, yeah, he's just saying the things to get under his skin. Like Donovan's like a good villain, but he never did anything quite like that.
Right, right. Lord Rattington, sorry. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Just a fun fact. Did you know that the voice actor who does Quincy Sharp in the Arkham games also does him from the Powerpuff Girls?
Why am I Quincy
Yeah,
Sharp?
I'm kind of blanking on who that is too.
Let's see. Uh yeah, there he is, but I don't recognize him. Uh the warden of Arkham Asylum. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm blanking on him, sadly. I don't remember him, but I believe you, and that's cool.
Joel B, thank you for the 500 bits. This is part 2 of 2. It will then cut to a scene of children in 19 or if people in 1940s Germany, children getting killed by wolves. One of the most intense yet sappy movies I've seen. It could make for an entertaining review. Sorry, I wasn't sure what YouTube would let me say, so you know.
Well, and it's funny because I thought that was it. I thought that was the end of the comment. I'm like, oh, there is a part 2. Okay, I was like, just her talking to a cartoon bird is already a little sappy. I mean, I wouldn't mind checking it out. I mean, either way, it sounds interesting. It's either interesting a way that'll work or a way that won't. So, yeah, I'm a little curious.
Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. No spoilers. Plans to ever do an NC or NCs on the My Girl movies. Definitely things to cover with both, plus Bridge to Terabithia comparison with the first.
Um, yeah. Again, I don't know what I could. I mean, the first one's good. I never did see the second one. But the first one is very good. And that kid is really good. The main actor. Boy, that's a performance. Actually, I feel like they're talking about performances that are overlooked. Yeah, that is a really really good performance. She is very believable in that. In every scene, she's very very believable. Um, yeah, but again, I don't. Can I really bring that much new to it? Because I did like a top 11 saddest moments. And again, no spoilers, but the that scene, and so I do talk about that. I feel like I got everything out there. And that is, like I said, even as a kid, I didn't cry that much. I cried at that scene because I just saw the other movie that actor was in, the big hit movie. I'm like, oh, seeing that. So, and it was done very, very real. So, uh, yeah, outside of that, I don't know what I can really add. It's just good. It's a good, solid movie. I don't know what really to say outside of that everyone else hasn't already said.
The Doctor, thank you for the $5 super chat. Any potential VR games in the future? If so, I'd highly recommend Vader Immortal, the RE4 VR port, Asgard's Wrath, and Half-Life Alyx.
I did play Vader Immortal. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I literally just uninstalled VR on my computer because I'm like, I haven't used this in years. They're not making games for the one that I have anymore. I really got into it for a while. I was really obsessed with VR games.
Mhm.
And somewhere I finally got out of it. I will say this: unless you have motion sickness, which I get, or any issues like that, if you have never tried it, you really should, because it isn't just a screen that's in front of you. The 3D element really, really plays a big factor, and really gives you quite an experience if you have it. Like, it is worth it. It is at the very least worth checking out. But yeah, probably. I think we tried it once on stream too, once or twice, and just
Mhm.
nobody watched it or cared. I think people like just more the traditional stuff.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. In Short Circuit 2, what do you think it was sad seeing Johnny 5 getting beaten up?
Oh yeah, as Brad said, if that was a human being, this would be a hard R. Like, that is a horrific scene. They put an axe into his eye. Like, good lord. Yeah, and even the scene after where he can't talk and he's carving dying on the wall. I mean, that's a rough scene to watch. I don't care who you are.
The Wizard of What, thank you for the $5 super chat. I'm not huge on Marvel humor either, but I accept it as par for the course. As long as they don't overdo it like Love and Thunder, I tolerate it enough.
Yeah, it's just, it can be good. That's what bothers me. And I think especially with those actors, and a lot of those actors did make a lot of that lesser writing work. Again, that's a testament to how talented they are. once in a while there's a good one too, but I'm just like, man, can't they just get different writers for that stuff? I just feel like that time has passed. Let's get a different kind of humor in there, at least in the writing department. Again, they can act it still pretty well, but I'm just like, there's something not being utilized here in the humor that I think really could be.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. And Coraline, what do you think of her friendship with the cat? I think it's an enjoyable bond, and I like how he serves as a guide and a mentor to her.
Yeah, I like there's two different versions. There's a version where he can talk and a version where, as she puts it, he never shuts up. No, I think it's done very well. I like the relationship with the boy more, even though she doesn't have as constant relationship as she does with the cat. But yeah, and I guess they are kind of similar in some ways. They both help out in some ways and sometimes make things worse in others.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Did you ever watch Man vs. Bee with Rowan Atkinson on Netflix? It's only one season.
No, and I've surprisingly heard interesting things about it. It
Okay.
just sounded like nothing to me, but a lot of people are like, "This was surprisingly pretty good." I'm like, "Really?" So at some point, I should probably give it a look.
Virile the Music, thank you for the $10 super chat. I joined the Navy and I'm shipping out in 2 weeks. Feeling pretty nervous about it. If I recall, your dad was also a sailor, and I'm wondering what it was like for you growing up in that environment.
Well, I mean, so when we were growing up, he was like back. We were stationed at different bases and stuff, but he wasn't really someone that went on like ships all the time and stuff like that. Because get this, he was seasick. Yeah, joined the Navy. But so he wasn't on ships that often. But yeah, but it was interesting because we were usually stationed on these Navy bases, and they had stuff that was, there specifically for the officers and their families and stuff, and cadets and everything. Usually wasn't the best material, but it's kind of cool that you had your own stuff there. But it was neat. I don't know. It's cool. Military brats and Navy brats and stuff like that. Like, there's difficult things about it, but there's really cool things about it too.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Bewitched or I Dream of Jeannie, Elizabeth Montgomery or Barbara Eden. Bewitched slash Elizabeth Montgomery for me, her expressions were more fun to watch.
Man, when this is totally a childhood versus adulthood thing, because when I was a kid, I'd say Jeannie. She was more bubbly and fun, and can just, she had the fun little pink outfit, just very, very girly and everything. And now as an adult, I'm like, oh yeah, Bewitched. I mean, she just has more of like a, yeah, smarminess to her, and like a little bit more of a cynicism. Even like, like Jeannie's like this goofy thing, and all she has to do is wiggle her nose. It's just like, yeah, that's all I'm gonna do. That's all I need to do. Like, there's just a little bit more of like a nice little cynicism to her while still being a nice character. So yeah, so I guess Bewitched, because I'm an adult now, so that's the one I like.
MCT Dread, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey Doug, big fan of your work. Have you ever checked out the Korean horror films The Wailing or The Host, or the Japanese animated film Jinro?
Let me see Jinro real fast if that's one. Jin?
Jin and then a dash ROH. I feel like I've seen Jinro. Oh, I've definitely seen Jinro.
I
Yeah,
definitely have not. Hey, it looks
definitely
cool.
seen Jinro.
Wow, this looks really, really cool. No, I want to. It looks really awesome.
Sean 49 Doctor and the other Korean horror films, The Wailing and The Host. Have you seen those too or no?
No, I haven't seen those.
Okay. Sean 49 Doctor, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey Doug, as a Monty Python fan, have you ever seen the two specials they did for German television? One is in English and the other is in German with English subtitles and includes a redo of the Lumberjack song. Both are now on Tubi.
Yeah, they're interesting. Because there is a lot of repeated material in there. I'm not a fan of seeing them redo their same material. I guess that was a very popular thing in Britain to do. So I won't lie and say it's not interesting, but I just don't find it that funny because I'm like, well, yeah, I know this stuff. But it's interesting. Both, I've seen the English and German one. They're both interesting.
Retro Schmo, thank you for the $5 super chat. I know I'm going to mess this name up. What Nehemiah Persoff roles do you enjoy besides Feifel's Papa?
Oh, well, I gotta see if I've seen him. So I seem to recall this being brought up before, because I wasn't super familiar with him, and then I looked him up. I'm like, oh, okay, I do know some of this guy's stuff. Let me see here. I do. I like him in Some Like It Hot. I do remember that being pretty funny. Um, yeah, all these other ones, they're mostly just smaller roles, like twins and stuff like that. Like I remember it being good, you know. Who was he in Last Temptation of Christ? Oh, just Rabbi. Okay. Um, I still haven't seen Yentl. I should probably see that. Yeah, a lot of these other ones, I don't know. I mean, it looks like he's had a great career, but I'm just not that familiar with him. I'm sorry.
Retro Schmo, thank you for the $2 super chat. Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. And Last Crusade, what do you think of the scene where Indy's father convinces him to give up the Grail and finally calls him Indiana?
Obvious, but nice. Um, it's funny because we were watching the making of, and like Spielberg was just going into great detail about this scene and how it works and the layers to it. I'm like, well, yeah, buddy. We're not five. We watched the movie. But it's still believable and nice. And I think too it shows maybe what they're hinting at, maybe not the temptation of the Grail, which I kind of like. I mean, he literally just saw something happen to somebody else, and he's literally about to repeat it again. And it's not something they put a lot of focus on, but I was like, oh, that's kind of a interesting little element there. That I'm not sure it was intentional or not, but I think it's cool in there. Just adding there's this temptation element in there.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Thoughts on James Gunn's Superman? It looks good, but I'm curious on what his take Superman will be.
Me too. Especially considering everything else he's done with superheroes in the past. Because I am concerned there's a little bit too much of a formula now with James Gunn. Not that it's even like an awful formula or anything, but it is just a little too predictable now. But it really does look like a comic book movie. I feel like this will be the first time I see a Superman movie. It's like we are just embracing the comic book world big time. And I'm very curious to see how he does that. Because like with Guardians, he's juggled obviously a lot of characters and a lot of things going on. So I'm curious. And I love the casting. The casting so far seems really, really great. So yeah, as soon as they just having crypto in the movie just immediately sets up a different environment and a different tone, so which is needed, I think, in Superman. So yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm not gonna pretend like it's the movie I have to see or anything, but I am really curious about it.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. And the Tangled Show, what do you think of Bruce Campbell as Eugene's father?
Oh, he was good. When I saw that's who they were having play the role, I was like, what? This is gonna be great. And yeah, I thought he did a good job.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Jaws is free on YouTube for this month. Hope it doesn't get copyrighted. Well, if it's not up there legally, I do hope it does get taken down.
Yeah, I don't have that big a problem with that.
Yeah. Especially because things like that are the reasons that we get hit so much.
Yeah.
Anyway, the question is here: what's your favorite scene from Jaws?
Uh, the two that's, I mean, they're both death scenes, but I know you could say like the scene where they're talking on the boat and everything, but the ones that still stick with me, the guy getting eaten at the, yeah, I don't want to say too much, but yeah, someone gets eaten at the end. I just remember that being really brutal. Now I watch it, it's not that bad, but I still remember that leaving a big impact. But the scene that's still brutal is the first one with, the lady that goes out and gets eaten. And my aunt always said, look, I know they give Oscars for people that are in the movie more than like 2 minutes, but it's like, she should have gotten a special Oscar. I tend to agree. It is just like the effects are good and everything, but it's like most of that is her acting, and it is just chillingly, uncomfortable.
Existential Crisis, thank you for the $5 super chat. Season 1 of Gotham, Gordon and Penguin end the era of gangsters. So 2 to 5 are about Gotham becoming neon and gothic. Jim and Oz's help only hurt Gotham.
Interesting. I've never seen the show, so I don't have much to comment on that.
The Wizard of What, thank you for the $5 super chat. And Goosebumps, what do you think of Slappy? He scared the ever-loving Dookie out of me as a kid. Fun fact, is the same voice actor as the 90s Wolverine.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know. Now that I know that, he kind of looks like him a little bit. I never put that together. With that said, he didn't do anything for me. Almost nothing in Goosebumps does anything for me aside from a chuckle. I will say the reboot series that they did years later, where they combined like all the, they tried to do like with Goosebumps what they did with like House on Haunted Hill, and it surprisingly worked and kind of turned into its own interesting thing. And I really really liked it, even as someone that doesn't get into Goosebumps.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you seen the John Candy movies Delirious and Only the Lonely?
You know, yes, and I confused them. When you said that, I'm like, yeah, which one was which? I remember the one where he had the strong connection with his mother was the most interesting. And I don't remember which one of those. Maybe that's only the one I can't
Timing!
remember. I remember liking that one more. But yeah, I do. I remember the plots being a little similar. So I do confuse them. But I remember liking them.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thoughts on the movie Fearless with Jeff Bridges, possible NC?
Oh, that's spectacular movie. I forget when I did my top 20 if that was on there or not, but it's a phenomenal film. You want a scene that can make me cry? Just the ending of that gets me big time. It really feels like you're in between life and death. In such a creative way. It's both very cheap and very expensive at the same time. It's so amazingly built up to. No, phenomenal. I don't know if I could do an NC on it. There aren't that if you've seen the film, there's not many laughs to be had with it, but yeah, it's very, very good, but very, very heavy. Keep that in mind if you're going into it.
Jonathan, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, have you seen the movie Flow, animated by a Latvian team in a free software, no dialogue, and animals discovering consciousness? Simply beautiful.
I liked it, yeah. I don't know if I quite loved it as much as everyone else did, but I couldn't quite put everything together. In fact, the more I looked up about what it was trying to do, the more actually I wasn't getting into the answers. I'm like, oh, that's kind of lame. So I like keeping it more abstract. And the problems I have with it are more just like the limitations just that they have. They just don't have that much of a budget. But they still worked with it very, very well. So yeah, no, I liked it.
Too bad Waluigi time. Thank you for the £5 super chat. What's your thoughts on people going crazy over the chicken jockey meme in theaters? Personally, I think it's just a massive dick move to the staff.
100%. I will say I can't pretend like I don't, especially a generation that was cooped up during the pandemic and everything, and they just want to celebrate something. And this is something that caught on. And it is I'm not going to act like it isn't funny. I see that footage. I do laugh very hard. But yes, as an adult and, knowing people that worked in movie theaters, and I used to be a janitor and stuff like that, of course I see it as a huge dick move. And it's, it sucks. And as Heather brought up, there's a lot of little kids that see this movie. Just suddenly, it's like they're in World War III. Like, what? What's going on? Mostly I see it as a dick move. I can't pretend I don't see a little bit of the comedy in there. But yes, I do. I do stand by, be respectful.
JL, thank you for the 600 bits. The movies were provided by Universal Studios themselves. Good, great. That, I just wasn't sure, because sometimes people are like, this movie's free on YouTube, and it's not like it's pirated. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's why I thought it was so strange when they said for a month. I was just like, that's very specific. It's like, okay, so it is something they're really interesting that they're doing that, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
JL, thank you for the 600 bits. Do you watch the movies if they are provided for free by the studios if you don't have to pay for it?
Say again?
Do you watch the movies if they are provided for free by the studios if you don't have to pay for it?
Are they talking about like early screenings? Is that what they're talking about?
I don't know.
Sometimes I get early screenings. It's not for all studios. I get them for like Warner Brothers and Sony and stuff, independent ones like A24 and everything. But I mean, I have to travel, a little bit to see them. The theaters change, but yeah, those are usually free. But
they're specifying like if it's uploaded to YouTube. So would you do you watch the movies if they're free on YouTube provided by the studios?
Oh, well, yeah, I see no problem in doing it. I mean, if they provide it, absolutely. I mean, I've seen Jaws a lot of times, so I don't know if I'll check it out again. I mean, I remember it pretty well, but yeah, if the studio provides it, yeah, why not?
Patty P, thank you for the €5 super chat. As a fan of the Brendan Fraser The Mummy, watching it recently feels like a precursor to modern Marvel-style humor in films. Thoughts?
Is that for the best? I don't know. And I don't even hate that movie or anything, but I just the praise again. You know what? If I was a kid growing up with maybe I would think the same thing a lot of people think. Maybe I would get into it because yeah, this is a fun, silly adventure, but it does have a bite to it, this very cartoony gore to it, but it is still technically gore and it's creative and the visuals you remember. And when I was younger, I remember liking. I think I was a teen. But yeah, it's like kind of a fan of classic Universal monsters and the ideas behind them and everything. There's creative things I like about it, but I'm like, I don't know. I guess I don't get into like early 2000s, late 90s B movies. But I get why other people do.
Virulith the Music, thank you for the $5 super chat. I recently gained 7 pounds. My skeleton also weighs 7 pounds. Should I pull out my bones or just go on a diet?
Do the bone thing. I want to see how that works.
We're just curious. We're very curious.
For science.
And, man, it's been a while since we've had almost 20 minutes for
really?
chat questions. Woo!
All right, man, that's nice. Holy smokes. Okay.
I'm excited about that. Derek over on YouTube says, when are you going to do fanscription again?
Oh, I don't. Walter does. And he got there's a different theme month that he's working on that's coming soon. Keep an eye out. True. But so that took up a lot of his time. He's putting a lot of effort into it. I'm very curious how a lot of it turns out. Some of the ideas he's had. But after that, I don't know, because I don't know if he still wants to do his theme month. We'll see what he wants to do. Or maybe he'll go back to fanscription. I think he was just getting burnt out a little bit on it. But yeah, I don't think he's like, it's dead, it's gone. I think he's just taking a little bit of a break from it. But I get the feeling you'll see more.
Blablik Block over on Twitch says, Rushmore, The Royal Tannenbaums, and The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, I'm sorry, are made by Touchstone Pictures, which means that they're qualified for a Disney-cember. Maybe a Disney-cember review for them?
Maybe. That'd be an idea.
Frankfurt the Orange over on YouTube says, I was going to ask if you do Daft Punk's Interstellar 55555, but due to reasons, how about a review on Dogman?
I haven't seen it yet. I actually want to, because Peter Hastings directed that movie, and he's an Animaniacs director and writer. So I did want to see it because of that. I hear it's fun. I hear it's a good time.
I really like funny man Timmy over on YouTube. So, you want to see someone being deboned, Doug, huh?
My wife would like one of those.
JL, thank you for the 600 bits. I know you won't do the Talkville rewatch, but I'm curious how you would rate some of the Smallville episodes, because the actors themselves gives them bad ratings sometimes and good sometimes as well.
There's so many things I still gotta watch. I don't know when I get around to it. Like, I do want to see it. I hear it's very good, but yeah, I just don't know when to find the time.
Super Tom Brother over on YouTube asks, hey Doug, I know it's been a while, but are you ever going to bring back top 10 F-ups?
Well, it's been way too long. It'd be more than top 11. It'd be like top 111. You know what I mean? But the big thing was I didn't like doing the character with Douchey McNippy. His voice was just, I didn't like doing the voice, the wig. I just didn't like wearing it. And I know there's other ways to do it, but I feel like I've just waited way too long. I also don't know. I mean, I guess people do request it, so maybe there is an audience out there, but I couldn't see it doing that well, like on YouTube, like whatever, 6, 7, 8 or whatever. I mean, like, maybe they would. I mean, the commercials still do well. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how we do it now because just way too much time has passed.
Power Gamer over on YouTube says, or not YouTube, sorry, Twitch says, so I finally saw the Insect movie that gives Heather war flashbacks, and I think I know why it's Baby's first troll movie. I am convinced the movie was made as a joke and is actively trolling the audience.
Baby's first troll movie.
I just misread it then, sorry.
Well, maybe you'll just have to wait and see, and you'll get even more details soon. We'll just have to see.
Yeah, we'll just have to see. Joel B, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you seen Tunerific Tyreek's recent videos where he reviews 80s animated films based on shows? You make a very hilarious appearance in the video.
Yeah, I have seen that, and I did reach out to him too because he's pretty much like, "You want to be on the show?" He's doing this animated show, and I was just like, I just reached out like, "Sure, whatever you need me for." So yeah, that well, I might be in his show.
July Media over on YouTube says, what does the NC want to review first? Fred the movie or Horrid Henry the movie?
I don't even know what Horrid Henry is. So let me look that up, see if that rings a bell. Hold on.
Mm-hmm,
Horrid Henry.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I don't know what this is. I try not to do YouTuber stuff. Not I said at the beginning when I was doing it, but just somewhere I'm like, it just doesn't feel right making fun of other. We're not short YouTubers backstabbing other YouTubers, you know what I mean, or saying crap about other YouTubers. So my thought, not that you can, you totally can. We're definitely we're on the slaughtering, table, aren't we? We're out there, we're an open target. We should be, because we're in entertainment as well. If we're going to dish it, we should take it. But I just feel like so many YouTubers just constantly are bad talking each other back and forth. I feel like there needs to be a little bit more support. So I try to stay away from that as much as I can.
Headshot over on YouTube asks, Paramount is apparently planning Sonic movie spin-offs. Which one would you like to see and how do you want them to go about it?
Uh, well, I guess I already did it. I mean, Knuckles was pretty fun. I never did see the show. I should, because I like that character. But outside of that, yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, I guess you could probably have more fun with Shadow. The more I think about it, you could probably do some fun stuff with him.
Master Mario over on Twitch says, ideas for future sub-goal streams, best fictional moms, best fictional dads, best ice cream brands. We can't do best fictional moms. Y'all are going to get really weird about Pixar moms.
Oh, is that a thing?
What? The Pixar mom?
Yeah.
Yeah, the way they're built different, Doug.
Are they?
You don't see it in Mrs. Incredible? You don't see that she's
yeah, but she's like stretchy and everything. That I don't know, but isn't that kind of like saying Mr. Incredible's like they're cartoons? But maybe I'm very naive to a lot of that stuff. So like whenever it's brought up, and then I'll take a look. Like now I'm gonna go look back and see, and I'll be like, oh shit, yeah. Like I'll probably see what you're talking now that I'm looking for it.
King Croker, thank you so much for that 59-month subscription over on Twitch. Welcome back. Appreciate that. Hey, Doug, just one of your mods here. I just want to say how much the work you do is important to me. Thank you for hanging out with us in these Q&As and on Fridays playing video games. All the content you have done has been a wonderful companion through the years. Thank you for being a friend throughout my life, even if you didn't know it.
Oh my God, that's so incredibly kind. Thank you for everything you've done. Yeah, no, the incredibly kind words. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Timing!
Oh my gosh, sorry, I got scared by a timing. JL, thank you for the 600 bits. If they brought Jaws back to theaters, would you see it again on the big screen?
I think they did, and I didn't. I guess I should. But I won't. Because I'm lazy. And I remember the movie too well.
Adam on YouTube says, if Doug is looking for a movie to watch, I recommend Year of the Dragon, directed by Michael Cimino. It's with a C.
I feel like I know that movie. Oh, maybe I don't. Oh, hold on. Year of the Dragon movie. Let's see. Maybe I don't. Okay, Mickey Rourke. I don't know this movie. All right. I mean, I like 80s Mickey Rourke. Yeah, I like Mickey Rourke in general. Yeah, I'll try to check that out.
Go Utah over on YouTube says, what are your thoughts on the 1984 film 16 Candles?
I'm trying to think. I confused that for Pretty in Pink. No, 16 Candles. That's the one where they forget her birthday, right? I think
it's been so long.
I think that's it. Yeah, because birthday candles and forget her 16th birthday. That's gotta be it. It wasn't what I was expecting. And I find that with a lot of John Hughes movies, I really thought Weird Science was going to be something else. I saw it, I'm like, this is completely different. And that was another one where I really thought it was going to be. I thought it really was going to be about this girl and her birthday being forgotten. And I mean, half the movie is that, and half the movie is something completely different. So the stuff about her, I remember liking. And everything else, which is like that's like the crazy, goofy, silly stuff that I surprisingly found pretty forgetful. Which I don't know, maybe that says something as you get older. Because I did see it later. I saw it when I was older. I didn't grow up with that one. So I guess I'll say it's all right. I get why it has a following, definitely, and why people connect with it. But yeah, for me, about half the movie I got into.
Movie Lover over on Twitch says, "Hey Doug, have you seen the movie Looper? And if so, what are your thoughts?"
No, I've heard people bring it up a few times, though. I probably should. I hear it's a good movie.
Retro Schmo, thank you for the $2 super chat. Do you like the Lincoln Park Zoo? I went in 2012.
Oh yeah, we got some great zoos out here, definitely. Around Christmas time too, they do a lot of fun stuff with the lights and everything. Yeah, no, it's a good place.
Keyblade Master Andy, thank you for the $5 super chat. Fair warning, Knuckles becomes the Wade show after a while, but
Mm.
Carrie Elways is very nice. Anyway, thoughts on the teaser for Tron Ares?
I thought it looked pretty cool, honestly. Every time I see another trailer for it, like on the big screen or something, I'm like, this is looking pretty cool. Yeah, and I like the Tron movies. I'm not like in love with them or anything, but they're fun. The first one's still probably the best, but I love the update to the style in the second one. And I like the idea of it coming to the real world this time. I'm curious to see what they do with that. So yeah, that look pretty cool.
Sean49 Doctor over on Twitch says, "Do you have a favorite Faulty Towers episode?"
Oh man. Either Basil and the Rat or the Kipper and the Corpse. I mean, that's just classic farce. But it's pretty close with communication problems. The one with the old lady, just for the acting in that from everyone is just so stellar. It's so top notch and so funny. I mean, it is in all the episode, but that one just especially. It's just writing. I feel like on John Cleese and the lady playing the deaf woman.
The Wizard of What, thank you for the $2 super chat. Since you like the new Goosebumps, a Disney December.
I know they did a season 2, and we started and we couldn't get into it. You know what? I couldn't get into it. My wife. I was actually being really mean. I'm like, I don't want to. You watch it on your own, and I feel like I kind of ruined it for her. So that was also after Halloween. I think that was part of it. They released it after October, which was so weird. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see.
Pudgy Bear, thank you for the $5 super chat. In case you never figured it out, the clams in the third animated Titanic movie are saying, "Oh, you, there's no one meaner than you."
I didn't even remember Clam singing in that movie. I was distracted by every other crazy thing. I'm sure if I watched the review again, I'd remember it. But yeah, it's been a hot minute. But thank you for clarifying that.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Do you watch movies when you travel in, I think they're trying to say hotels, and how do you watch them?
I mean, like just like you said, in a hotel, sometimes I'll just be flipping through channels, see what's on. It's the only time I actually like, click through cable channels again, which is kind of neat to do. But yeah, other times, like if I have to review a movie when I'm out of town or at conventions, then we just find like a nearby movie theater and go see it.
Elijah over on YouTube. This one made me chuckle. "Hey Doug, love the content. Do you review wedding footage by chance? Would love to get your feedback."
Hmm. Um. Yeah, they always end the same way. I do every time. It becomes predictable.
Autumn Ombre over on YouTube asks, "Speaking of classic Universal, will we ever have a nostalgia ween on the OG horrors? Dracula, Invisible Man, Jekyll and Hyde, The Wolfman, etc."
Probably not. That's another one where it's like, what am I gonna add? But again, maybe somebody else might be doing something. We gotta wait and see.
Gabriel over on Twitch says, "Were you ever an NCIS fan, or wasn't one you ever got into? I'm excited for the new spin-off titled Tony and Ziva. Once Michael Weatherly and Cote de Pablo left, those two characters' relationship didn't end the best way, so I'm excited to see how the series will be in the fall."
That all means nothing to me. I've never seen the show. I'm sorry. I'm not really big into crime shows or court shows, lawyer shows, medical shows, that kind of stuff. Yeah, so they're not bad. They just don't grab me.
Eccentric Gentleman, thank you for the £5 super chat. V for Vendetta for NC. It was made 20 years ago. We've arrived at its near future, and life has eerily imitated art. It's a message we need today.
might be something there. I sort of stayed away from it for a while because I think it was just so seen as like the movie to, to launch or whatever, the troll attack and the cyber attack or whatever. I mean, even then, I don't know if I'm representing that right. I just didn't follow it that closely. So I didn't want to talk about it because I feel like I wouldn't represent it properly. But now time has passed. It's like I feel like I have done a little bit more research on it about like the impact it's had, especially on online culture and stuff. And there might be something there. It might be an idea.
ADHD 95 over on YouTube asks, does your job get in the way of enjoying movies and TV shows?
Just time to see TV shows. I think that's the biggest. There's a lot of TV shows I love to watch that have a lot of episodes, and I just don't have time because I have to watch other movies and TV shows. But I will say sometimes it forces me to watch shows I never would watch. Like I'm watching The Proud Family now for Disney December, and I never would watch that if it wasn't for this job. Same thing with a lot of shows for Disney December. I don't know if I ever would have seen, Avatar: The Last Airbender if I didn't want to review the Last Airbender movie. Everybody asked me to do it, and that was like my favorite show. So, yeah, so it goes back and forth.
Elite Game over on Twitch says, "Hi, Doug, Heather, and Chaplin. Hope you're all well. So, Doug, in Thunderbolts, who did you like more, U.S. Agent Yelena or Bob?"
Oh, Elena. I like that actress. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I was one of the few people when the Black Widow movie came out. I was like, it's all right. I just loved that family. And I said, I could just watch this family sit down and talk. And so the fact that several of them are in this movie, then you have other characters that were really interesting in these other movies come in. And, that's my favorite stuff, just when they're interacting with each other. So, yeah, no, I thought she was great.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you think Douchey is still in the plot hole, or do you think that he escaped?
He escaped into his heart. No, he's still in the plot hole.
The Wizard of What, thank you for the $2 super chat. Have you finished Agatha All Along yet?
No, I got halfway through it. I actually was getting into it. I got past the first episode, and the second episode was all right. Then, it does get really good. Heather, you were right. It does get really, really
It
good.
does.
But something happened. I think just I had to watch other shows for Disney December, and I didn't get a chance to finish it up. I have maybe 3 episodes left, something like that. So I should finish it up because I do remember getting into it.
JL, thank you for gifting that sub over on Twitch to Sean. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Bringing us closer to our goal for this month. Thanks. Appreciate that.
You.
Bat fan over on YouTube asks, thoughts on True Romance, and would you do an NC on it?
I've never seen it. I know it's this really. Was that Tarantino? Did he write it? I can't remember. It was some sort of big writer director. But it's supposed to be really, really good, really intense from what I hear, and I never had a chance to check it out, so I probably should give it a look.
Retro Schmo, thank you for the $2 super chat. Have you seen Three's Company?
Yeah, it is what it is.
Right. That's a great way to put it.
I think it's meant to be kind of corny and kitschy, and it is what it is.
Right. This will have to be the last one here. Jack, thank you for the £5 super chat. Thoughts on the TV series Gotham, the best DC show?
I still haven't seen it. I hear it starts off great. I thought it either ended bad or eventually got bad or something, but I guess I hear it starts off really, really strong. So I do want to check it out at some point. But again, I got just a million other shows to watch, sadly.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. I don't follow Marvel. Why is there an asterisk in the Thunderbolts title? You'll just have to watch it to see.
Yeah. Look at a billboard in LA.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They already kind of revealed why there's an asterisk. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us here tonight. We super appreciate it as usual. Over on the Twitch side of things, Malcolm will not be with us tomorrow. I know we cry, we sob, we're so sad. Malcolm will not be with us tomorrow. But Doug will be back on Friday on both YouTube and Twitch, streaming some of Resident Evil 2. And he'll definitely not continue the trend of wasting all his ammo.
Definitely not.
No, I've spoken it into existence. You'll stop doing that right now, Doug.
But there's so many.
I know. JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Appreciate it. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful evening. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, and we will see you all later. Bye.
Bye.